Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about Jordan's birth story. Let me fix this just real quick. So I have been asked so many times about the birth stories of all of my kids, but it's like I just had to retype everything out. And so I was like, oh, maybe I can just make a video and then I can just refer people to this video if they want to hear the stories. But it's also fun. I love listening to other people's birth stories and not necessarily watching them because I think it's kind of like a little intrusive. I myself had my birth stories and videos up here, but it got uncomfortable. They're putting them, like foreign people are putting them in weird playlists and just made it uncomfortable and weird, almost like PORN. And I just think that's gross. And also, I was really weird in those videos. I feel like I've done a lot of growth and soul searching since then, so I feel like my storytelling's a little better. I was really awkward and quiet and didn't know how to talk to the camera and all that, but I've really come into myself, so I feel like I could tell these stories better now, even though it's not like in the moment. Like I didn't just give birth to my oldest, like she's 8.5, but I feel like I can still tell the story without it being boring, because I was rewatching my birth stories that I did and I was like, this is the boringest 19 minutes of my life. Who would watch this? And it has a lot of views and I'm like, why? It's boring. Who would watch that? Anyways, I've had a lot of coffee, can you tell? Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started on Jordan's birth story. Let's grab Sydney's liquid crack. I meant coffee. Okay. It's my rocket fuel. That's what my kids call it. So, the story of Jordan starts it was like July 17th. I went into labor, but it was back labor and my water did not break. So, I was in back labor and thought like I was constipated, so I was taking prune juice and just like in so much pain. I was hanging upside down on my couch, like swinging my legs. I had a workout thing that you put up in the door jamb and like you hang on it. Well, my chiropractor told me to like hang from it and kind of just allow my body to just hang. So I did that. That helped a lot with back pressure. I did like a lot of belly movement, so kind of being on all fours and just like swaying my hips. I remember that relieved a lot of pressure. But the night of the 19th, so July 19th, I was in immense pain and it was in the middle of the night. It was like 12 o'clock at night. And I went downstairs, and at this time I was renting a room at my sister's old house. My dad and I moved in there. That way we could be closer to a better hospital. And also I was going to a community college there. That was also like a teen parent program integrated with the college, which is Chemeketa in Salem, Oregon. And so basically, I was renting a room and stuff, but I went downstairs and my sister and my dad were down there watching TV, and I went downstairs to get some ice for my back. I had like an ice pack that was really nice for softball and stuff, and we just so happened to have it. So I went down there and grabbed it, and I was like crying because I was in so much pain, and my sister's like, what is going on? I'm like, I don't know. My back has been in pain for like the past 3 days. I don't get it, and I can't poop and all these things. And so she's like, well, we should call the on-call nurse because this doesn't seem normal at all. Like, you're super pregnant. And so this doesn't seem normal. And so we called the on-call nurse, and she was like, well, how about you come in? And so I go in, and they're like, oh, you're in labor. And I'm like, what? Like, I wasn't having contractions, I didn't think. I thought it was just like my back. But apparently I was having contractions. I was really young, ignorant, didn't know what was happening to my body. I was not connected at this time, okay? And so they're like, yeah, you're in labor. So they kept me, and they would not allow me to walk around. It was horrible. They had me laying on the bed. They wouldn't allow me to do anything. They wouldn't allow me to walk around the hospital. They wouldn't allow me to get in the bath. Like, they made me stay on the bed, on the monitor the whole time. It sucked. It was like prison. And I remember it just being like the most horriblest experience ever. And after 34 hours, they convinced me that I needed to get the epidural. So I got the epidural because I didn't know better. And I was in a lot of pain. And so I got the epidural. I don't know how much longer I was in labor, but I do have a video of when I was in labor after they gave me the epidural, and it's actually really sad. Like, it's funny, and I can insert it here, but it's also really sad because I was high as a fuck. And what they did to me was absolutely not okay. And yeah, that should never be okay. And so, yeah, then I ended up giving birth to her. What they did is they didn't even have me get to 10 centimeters. And then they tied a knot in a towel and told me to pull the nurse onto the table. And so for like 45 minutes, I was doing that, and I ended up puking. And then basically she came out, they threw her on me, and then, they weighed her and stuff. She was 5 pounds, 4.5 ounces, and they wouldn't allow me to breastfeed her. But my dad, my sister, and my mom were in the room, so I had my mom be with Jordan the whole entire time. And then they ended up taking her out of the room because I guess she was having troubles breathing. And so they took her down to the NICU and stuff and did a bunch of stuff on her. And yeah, actually it was a lot of medical malpractice now looking back. And yeah, I went through a lot of stuff with that. But that's basically the story. Like, it was just chaos and horrible. We were in the NICU for 12 days. And I was there the whole time. Every single day they were like, you need to go home. And I'm like, no, I am here with my daughter. Like, I'm not going to do that. But there was no other parents around. It was so bizarre. And yeah, I watched a lot of really sad things in that NICU. I read a lot of books while I was in there. I was in college or about to be going into college, and so I was reading a lot of like studying books basically. And yeah, I remember just sitting there hours every single day. I would feed her and I'd change her diaper, and I was very, very intensive. I was there and holding her the whole time, even with all her 1,000 cords that they had on her. And yeah, that was really intensive. And then I remember the photographer. The only reason why this is funny to me and why I noticed is because I'm a photographer and I've been a photographer for 13 years, okay? So this photographer comes in with like this box thing that they basically just set up on the table, which is so not safe at all for babies. I do not recommend, like, that's, I cannot believe the hospital allowed this. And then they're like taking pictures of Jordan, but it was like in the weirdest, uncomfortable pictures ever. Like, maybe I'll insert some here if I can find some, but there's just like, what is this? And I get there just trying to take like newborn pictures to allow you to have that, and the NICU is allowing it because not a lot of people can afford baby photographers and stuff. But this is the most botched photography I've ever seen in my life. Actually, that's probably not true. There's a lot of photographers out there that just should not be in photography. But it was like, what is this? And I took my own newborn photography when I got home, and they turned a lot better. But it was like, what is happening? And they just had her on the table, and it was like, what is this? Like, she's like, you know, laying back, and then they had her like laying all weird, but her arms like all jacked, and I'm just like, what is this? Like, what is this? Anyways, And then I had visitors when we were there and stuff. Yeah, I remember it just, they wouldn't allow me to hold her right away and stuff. I had to like beg them for me to go down in the NICU because they gave me the epidural and I was still numb. And I just remember that experience being so terrifying. And like, they just took my baby, and I just gave birth to my baby that I'd been with for 9 months, and now they took her and then not allow me to see her. Like, they just totally treated me like a prisoner. And I remember I was like, when I got pregnant again, I was like, that will never happen again. That will never happen again. I will have a voice and they will listen to me. Otherwise, I will leave. I don't care how much pain I'm in. But it was, yeah, the most horrifying birth trauma story. And that's why hospital births are just not my jam at all. You'll learn in my next 3 birth stories how everything evolved. Like, I changed a lot through every single birth, and the birth styles changed a lot. And I think that a lot of people show on here, like on YouTube and just on like MTV and stuff, that teen pregnancy and everything like that is okay, and I don't think that it should be promoted at all, because I was so ignorant and I just did everything the doctors said, and I just allowed them to boss me around, and I didn't have a backbone, and that caused forever pain, honestly. Like, there's so much birth trauma, and I haven't shared Jordan's story on here with her medical malpractice story because it will get me shadow banned, because they don't want you to tell the truth about what happens in the medical field, and they try to pretend like it's rare, but it's not. And I don't really want to get shadow banned on here. Like, I want to grow on here and grow my community and everything. And so I have shared Jordan's story on TikTok along with on Instagram. But maybe I will tell her story, but maybe like use different terminology for certain words. That way they don't try to shadow ban me. Because it is a very important piece of the puzzle, and a very important, one of the main reasons why my style has changed and why I am the way I am and why my family is the way we are. And so yeah, maybe if you want to hear about Jordan's VACCINE injury story, let me know down in the comments, because it will be it could be detrimental to my channel to share it. But I feel like medical malpractice happens a lot and it needs to be talked about. But unfortunately, there's no such thing as freedom of speech really anymore. And yeah, like I said, I want to grow on here. I don't want to be shadow banned because of my experience. So anyways, just comment down below, like this video if you like birth stories, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.